The film industry has always been a popular source of entertainment and a great way to escape reality for a while. With each passing year, we see new films breaking box office records and surpassing the previous year's top earners. In 2022, we saw some amazing films that not only provided us with incredible cinematic experiences but also left a mark in the history of the movie industry. In this video, we will take a closer look at the top 10 highest-grossing films of 2022. Number 10. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Domestic gross: $184,993,705. While hosting a party in the town of Del Mar, legendary hero and outlaw Puss in Boots accidentally awakens a sleeping giant. He subdues the creature but is crushed by a bell. Waking up in a hospital, the town doctor informs him that he has lost 8 of his 9 lives and suggests Puss should retire. That night in a bar, Puss meets a black-hooded wolf, who disarms and wounds him in a sword fight. Traumatized, Puss flees to the house of cat lady Mama Luna, where he buries his clothes and meets an optimistic chihuahua disguised as a cat whom he calls Perito. Goldilocks and her 3 bears crime family soon arrive at Luna's home. They plan to hire Puss to steal a map bearing the Wishing Star's location from pastry chef and crime boss Big Jack Horner, but fail to recognize him and leave after finding his grave. Puss decides to use the star to restore his lost lives. Accompanied by Perito, he breaks into Horner's bakery to steal the map, but is interrupted by his resentful ex-fiancée Kitty Softpaws, Horner, and Goldie and the bears. Puss manages to escape with the map alongside Kitty and Perito, though he sees the wolf threaten him while fleeing. The map leads the trio to the Dark Forest, a pocket dimension that changes its landscape depending on the map's holder. During another clash with Horner, his henchmen, and Goldie and the bears, Puss sees the wolf again and runs off, distracting Kitty and allowing Goldie to obtain the map. After Perito calms Puss's panic attack, Puss confesses to being on his last life, and his remorse for leaving Kitty on their wedding day. Kitty overhears them and reveals that she never attended the wedding either, believing Puss could not love anyone more than himself. Puss and Kitty steal back the map while Goldie and the bears are distracted by a manifestation of their woodland cottage. As the dimension shifts, Puss accidentally traps himself in a crystalline cave, where he encounters his arrogant past lives, and the wolf, who reveals himself as Death. Feeling disrespected by Puss not valuing his extra lives, Death wants to take Puss's final life prematurely. Horrified, Puss runs out of the cave towards the star alone, ignoring Kitty and Perito's pleas for him to stop. Meanwhile, Goldie reveals to the bears that her wish is to be reunited with her biological family. Although they are devastated, the bears agree to help her. Puss arrives at the star and begins to make his wish using the map, but is confronted by Kitty, who berates him for his selfishness and confesses that her wish was to find someone she could trust. Number 9. Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Domestic gross: $190,872,904. Roughly 8 months after defeating Dr. Robotnik, Sonic attempts to help the public as a vigilante hero with little success. Tom advises Sonic to remain patient for the day his powers will be needed before he and Maddie depart for Rachel's wedding in Hawaii. Sonic plans to have fun while home alone but is attacked by Robotnik, who has escaped the Mushroom Planet with the help of a powerful anthropomorphic echidna named Knuckles. To honor his ancestors, Knuckles demands the location of the legendary Master Emerald, an ancient relic that grants its user immense power and the ability to change reality to their will. Sonic is rescued by Miles Tails Prower, an anthropomorphic two-tailed fox who idolizes him and comes to warn him about Knuckles. Sonic convinces Tails to help him find the Master Emerald, while Robotnik reunites with his assistant Stone and, scheming to steal the emerald, offers to help Knuckles. Journeying through a tundra, Sonic and Tails stop at a bar, where they escape by dancing. They follow clues to a Siberian cave on a map Longclaw gave Sonic before sending him to Earth, where they find a compass within a temple. Robotnik and Knuckles track them and chase Sonic and Tails down a mountain. Knuckles reveals that he lost his father and his whole tribe the same day Sonic lost Longclaw. Despite this brief moment of sympathy, Knuckles and Robotnik steal the compass, though Knuckles begins to question Robotnik's sense of loyalty and honor when he mocks Sonic for choosing to save a wounded Tails instead of the compass. Tom saves Sonic and Tails by using a ring to teleport them to the wedding. Rachel's fiancé Randall and his wedding guests reveal themselves as undercover agents of the Guardian Units of Nations and arrest Sonic, Tails, and Tom, who are then saved by Maddie and a vengeful Rachel, who reconciles with Randall. Meanwhile, Robotnik and Knuckles find an underwater temple containing the Master Emerald. Blaming himself for Tails' injuries, Sonic decides to face Robotnik and Knuckles alone and goes to the temple, where he fights with Knuckles to keep him from taking the Master Emerald. Seeing this as an opportunity, Robotnik uses the distraction to seize and fuse himself with the emerald, which explodes and sinks the temple into the water. Number 8. Thor, Love and Thunder. Domestic gross, $343,256,830. Gore and his daughter, Love, the last of their race, struggle in a barren desert. Despite their prayers to their god, Rapu, Love dies. The god-killing Necrosword calls to Gore, leading him to Rapu's lush realm. After Rapu cruelly mocks and dismisses Gore's plight, he renounces the god, causing Rapu to strangle him. The Necrosword offers itself to Gore, who kills Rapu with it and vows to kill all gods. Gore is granted the ability to manipulate shadows and produce monsters but is cursed with impending death and corruption under the sword's influence. After Gore kills several gods, Thor, who has joined the Guardians of the Galaxy after the Battle of Earth, learns of a distress signal from Sif. He parts ways with the team and finds an injured Sif, who warns that Gore's next target is New Asgard. Meanwhile, Dr. Jane Foster, Thor's ex-girlfriend, has been diagnosed with stage 4 terminal cancer. With medical treatment proving ineffective, she travels to New Asgard hoping that Thor's hammer Mjolnir, which was previously fractured by Hela, might heal her. Due to an enchantment Thor unknowingly placed on it years earlier to protect Foster, Mjolnir reforges and bonds itself to her. Thor arrives in New Asgard just as Gore's attack begins. Thor is surprised to find Foster wielding Mjolnir, but teams up with her, Valkyrie, and Korg to fight Gore. The group thwarts Gore, but he escapes, kidnapping several Asgardian children and imprisoning them in the Shadow Realm. The group travels to Omnipotence City to warn the other gods and ask for their help in creating an army. The leader of the gods, Zeus, is unwilling to help, thinking they can remain safe and hidden from Gore in the city. He also believes that Gore will not be able to achieve his stated goal of visiting the realm of eternity. Number 7. The Batman. Domestic gross, $369,345,583. On Halloween, Gotham City Mayor Don Mitchell Jr. is murdered by the Riddler, a masked serial killer. Reclusive billionaire Bruce Wayne, who has operated for 2 years as the vigilante Batman, investigates the murder alongside the Gotham City Police Department, GCPD. Lieutenant James Gordon discovers a message that the Riddler left for Batman. The following night, the Riddler kills Commissioner Pete Savage and leaves another message for Batman. Batman and Gordon discover that the Riddler left a thumb drive in Mitchell's car containing images of Mitchell with a woman, Annika Kosalov, at the Iceberg Lounge, a nightclub operated by Oswald the Penguin Cobblepot, crime boss Carmine Falcone's lieutenant. While the Penguin pleads ignorance, Batman notices that Selina Kyle, Annika's roommate, works at the club as a waitress. When Annika disappears, Batman sends Selina to the Iceberg Lounge for answers and discovers that Savage was on Falcone's payroll, as is District Attorney Gil Colson. The Riddler abducts Colson, straps a timed collar bomb to his neck, and sends him to interrupt Mitchell's funeral. When Batman arrives, the Riddler calls him via Colson's phone and threatens to detonate the bomb if Colson cannot answer 3 riddles. Colson refuses to answer the third, the name of the informant who gave the GCPD information that led to a historic drug bust ending gangster Salvatore Maroni's operation, and is killed. Batman and Gordon deduce that the informant may be the Penguin and track him to a drug deal. They discover that Moroni's operation transferred to Falcone, with many corrupt GCPD officers involved. Selena inadvertently exposes them when she arrives to steal money and discovers Annika's corpse in the trunk of a car. After a car chase, Batman captures the Penguin, but he and Gordon learn the Penguin is not the informant. Batman and Gordon follow the Riddler's trail to the ruins of an orphanage funded by Bruce's murdered parents, Thomas and Martha Wayne, where they learn that the Riddler holds a grudge against the Wayne family. Bruce's butler and caretaker, Alfred Pennyworth, is hospitalized after opening a letter bomb addressed to Bruce. Number 6. Minions: The Rise of Gru. Domestic gross: $369,695,210. In 1976, an 11-year-old Gru dreams of becoming a supervillain, assisted by the Minions, whom he has hired to work for him. Gru is ecstatic when he receives an audition invitation from the Vicious Six, a supervillain team now led by Bell Bottom, who hope to find a new member to replace their founder, the supervillain Wild Knuckles, following their betrayal and attempted murder of Knuckles during a heist to steal the Zodiac Stone, a stone connected to the Chinese zodiac. Gru's interview goes poorly, but, much to the outrage of the Vicious Six, he steals the stone and escapes with minions Kevin, Stuart, and Bob, handing it to another minion, Otto, for safekeeping. At his basement lair, Gru is outraged that Otto has traded the Zodiac Stone for a pet rock, causing him to fire the minions before going alone to find it. However, Knuckles kidnaps Gru before taking him to San Francisco and informs the minions that if they do not give him the stone within 48 hours, Gru will be killed. Failing to locate the stone, Kevin, Stuart, and Bob leave for San Francisco to rescue Gru, while Otto leaves in pursuit of a biker whom he realizes has the stone as a necklace. When they reach Knuckles' house, they are chased by his goons until Master Chow, a former Kung Fu teacher who now makes a living at an acupuncture clinic, rescues them by defeating the goons. Chow teaches the minions Kung Fu after they beg and, ending their training prematurely, go to Knuckles' home to rescue Gru. Meanwhile, Otto catches up to and befriends the biker at Death Valley, who gives the stone back and takes him to San Francisco. Gru begins to bond with Knuckles after the latter's goons quit on him. Number 5. Jurassic World Dominion. Domestic gross: $376,851,080. 4 years after the Lockwood Estate incident and the volcanic eruption on Isla Nublar, once extinct dinosaurs freely roam the Earth and cause ecological disasters and are subject to animal cruelty. Amid global efforts to control the invasive species, Biosyngenetics establishes a dinosaur preserve in Italy's Dolomites which conducts genomics research, ostensibly for pharmacological applications. Claire Deering, Zia Rodriguez, and Franklin Webb, still with the Dinosaur Protection Group, investigate illegal dinosaur breeding sites. Claire's partner, Owen Grady, helps relocate stray dinosaurs. At their remote cabin in the Sierra Nevada mountains, Claire and Owen secretly raise 14-year-old Maisie Lockwood, Benjamin Lockwood's biogenetic granddaughter, and protect her from nefarious groups seeking to exploit her unique genetic makeup. When Blue, the velociraptor raised by Owen, arrives with an asexually reproduced hatchling, Maisie names it Beta. Increasingly frustrated living in seclusion, Maisie sneaks away, but mercenaries kidnap her and capture Beta. Meanwhile, swarms of giant locusts are decimating U.S. crops. Divorced paleobotanist Dr. Ellie Sattler observes that corporate-grown crops using biosyn seeds are left uneaten, raising suspicions that they created the insects. Ellie takes a captured locust to her former partner, paleontologist Dr. Alan Grant. They determine that the locust was genetically engineered with Cretaceous period arthropod DNA and contemporary migratory locusts. Franklin, now with the CIA's Dangerous Species Division, informs Claire and Owen that Maisie may have been taken to Malta. Upon arrival, Claire and Owen infiltrate a dinosaur black market with Owen's former Jurassic World colleague Barry Sembin, who is leading a raid for French intelligence. Carnivorous dinosaurs are unleashed during the foray, wreaking havoc. Claire and Owen learn that Maisie and Beta were transported to Biosyn, and sympathetic cargo pilot Kayla Watts agrees to fly them there. Chaotician Dr. Ian Malcolm, now working for Biosyn, has sought Ellie's help to expose CEO Dr. Lewis Dodgson after communications director Ramsey Cole warned him of Dodgson's illegal activities. Dodgson is exploiting dinosaurs and coerces former InGen geneticist Dr. Henry Wu to modify the transgenic locust to modify the world's food supply. Number 4. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Domestic gross, $411,331,607. America Chavez and a version of Stephen Strange are chased by a demon in the space between universes while searching for the Book of Vishanti. Strange is killed and Chavez accidentally creates a portal that transports herself and Strange's corpse to Earth 616, where that universe's version of Strange rescues Chavez from another demon with help from Wong, the Sorcerer Supreme. Chavez explains that the beings are hunting her because she has the power to travel through the multiverse. Recognizing witchcraft runes, Strange consults Wanda Maximoff for help but realizes that she is responsible for the attacks. After acquiring the Darkhold and becoming the Scarlet Witch, Maximoff believes that controlling Chavez's powers will allow her to reunite with Billy and Tommy, the children she created during her time in Westview. When Strange refuses to surrender Chavez, Maximoff attacks Camartage, killing many sorcerers. Chavez accidentally transports herself and Strange to Earth 838, while Maximoff uses the Darkhold to dreamwalk, taking control of her Earth 838 counterpart, who lives a suburban life with her own Billy and Tommy. After a surviving sorceress sacrifices herself to destroy the Darkhold and break the dreamwalk, an enraged Maximoff forces Wong to lead her to Mount Woundaggery, the source of the Darkhold's power, to re-establish the dreamwalk. While searching for help, Strange and Chavez are apprehended by Earth 838 Sorcerer Supreme Carl Mordo and brought before the Illuminati, a group consisting of Mordo, Peggy Carter, Black Agar Bolt Agon, Maria Rambeau, Reed Richards, and Charles Xavier. They explain that through reckless use of their universe's Darkhold in an attempt to defeat Thanos, Earth 838 Strange triggered a universe-destroying incursion. After defeating Thanos, the Illuminati executed their Strange to prevent him from causing more harm. Number 3. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Domestic gross, $453,829,060. T'Challa, King of Wakanda, is dying from an unspecified terminal illness which his sister Shuri believes can be cured by the heart-shaped herb. Shuri attempts to synthetically recreate the herb after it was destroyed by Eric Killmonger, but fails to do so before T'Challa dies. 1 year later, Wakanda is under pressure from other nations to share their vibranium, with some parties attempting to steal it by force. Queen Ramonda implores Shuri to continue her research on the herb, hoping to create a new Black Panther that will defend Wakanda, but she refuses due to her belief that the Black Panther is a figure of the past. In the Atlantic Ocean, the CIA and U.S. Navy SEALs utilize a vibranium detector to locate a potential vibranium deposit underwater. The expedition is killed by a group of blue-skinned, water-breathing superhumans led by Namor, with the CIA believing Wakanda to be responsible. Namor confronts Ramonda and Shuri, easily bypassing Wakanda's advanced security. Blaming Wakanda for the vibranium race, he gives them an ultimatum: deliver him the scientist responsible for the vibranium detector, or he will attack Wakanda. Shuri and Okoye learn from CIA agent Everett K. Ross that the scientist in question is MIT student Riri Williams and arrive at the university to confront her. The group is pursued by the FBI and then by Namor's warriors, who defeat Okoye before taking Shuri and Williams underwater to meet Namor. Angered by Okoye's failure to protect Shuri, Ramonda strips her of her title as General of the Dora Milaje and seeks out Nakia, who has been living in Haiti since the blip. Namor shows Shuri his vibranium-rich underwater kingdom of Talakang, which he has protected for centuries from discovery by the world. Number 2. Avatar, The Way of Water. Domestic gross, $682,044,777. 16 years after the Na'vi repelled the RDA invasion of Pandora, Jake Sully lives as chief of the Omaticaya clan and raises a family with Neytiri, which includes sons Nidiam and Lok, daughter Tuk, and adopted children Kiri, born from Grace Augustine's inert avatar, and Spider, the Pandora-born human son of the late Colonel Miles Quaritch. To the Navy's dismay, the RDA, led by their new leader, Francis Ardmore, returns to colonize Pandora as Earth is dying. Among the new arrivals are recombinant Navi avatars implanted with deceased human soldiers' memories, with Quaritch's recombinant serving as the leader. A year later, Jake leads a guerrilla campaign against the RDA. During a counterinsurgency mission, Quaritch and his subordinates capture Jake's children. Jake and Neytiri arrive and free them, killing several of Quaritch's soldiers, but Spider remains captured by Quaritch, who recognizes him as his son. After the RDA fails to get information from Spider, Quaritch decides to spend time with his son to draw him on his side. In return, Spider teaches Quaritch about Navi culture and language. Aware of the danger posed by Spider's knowledge of his whereabouts, Jake and his family exile themselves from the Omaticaya and retreat to Pandora's eastern seaboard, where the Metayana clan gives them refuge. There, the family learns the ways of the reef people, Kiri develops a spiritual bond with the sea, and Lok befriends Tsyria, the daughter of Chief Tanauri, and his wife, Ronal. After defending Kiri against Aonung, Tanauri's son, Lok apologizes at Jake's insistence. Aonung and his friends then entice Lok to a trip into a sea predator's territory and leave him stranded. After being saved from a giant sea beast, Lok is befriended by pÂưÂn, a Tolkien, an intelligent and pacifistic whale-like species whom the Metayana consider their spiritual brethren. Upon his return, Lok wins Aonung's friendship by taking the blame for the trip, but is told that pÂưÂn is an outcast among the Tolkien. Later, Kiri links to the Metayana's underwater spirit tree and spiritually meets her biological mother, Grace. Number 1. Top Gun, Maverick. Domestic gross, $718,732,821. More than 30 years after graduating from Top Gun, United States Navy Captain Pete Maverick Mitchell is a test pilot. Despite many achievements, repeated insubordination has kept him from flag rank. His friend and former Top Gun rival, Admiral Tom Iceman Kaczynski, now commander of the U.S. Pacific Fleet, often protects Maverick. Rear Admiral Chester Hammerkane plans to cancel Maverick's hypersonic Dark Star scramjet program in favor of funding drones. To save the program, Maverick unilaterally changes the target speed for that day's test from Mach 9 to the final contract specification of Mach 10. However, the prototype is destroyed when he cannot resist pushing beyond Mach 10. Admiral Kane talks with Maverick, saying with all that Maverick has accomplished, he should be at least a 2-star admiral. Iceman again saves Maverick's career by assigning him to the Top Gun school at NAS North Island for his next assignment, but Kane tells Maverick that the era of crewed fighter aircraft will soon be over. When Maverick arrives back to Top Gun, he meets Vice Admiral Bo Cyclone Simpson and reunites with Rear Admiral Solomon Warlock Bates. Vice Admiral Bates isn't too fond of Maverick and his flying and only says he is at Top Gun at the request of Iceman. Cyclone tells Maverick this will be his last post, and if he doesn't fly for Top Gun, he will not fly for the Navy again. The Navy has been tasked with destroying an unsanctioned uranium enrichment plant, located in an underground bunker at the end of a canyon, before it becomes operational. It is defended by surface-to-air missiles, SAMs, GPS jammers, and 5th-generation Su-57 fighters, as well as older F-14 Tomcats. Maverick devises a plan employing 2 pairs of Fa-18EF Super Hornets armed with laser-guided bombs, but instead of participating in the strike, he is to train an elite group of Top Gun graduates assembled by Air Boss Vice Admiral Simpson. Iceman and Maverick text about the interaction between Cyclone and Maverick didn't go as planned. Maverick tells Iceman that he could have warned him, but Iceman responds as would Maverick had still come. Thank you so much for watching. It's always exciting to see which movies capture the hearts and minds of audiences around the world and make a big impact at the box office. As we continue to see new advancements in technology and storytelling, we can only imagine what amazing films the future holds. Stay tuned for more updates and let us know in the comments which movie you're most excited to see next.